Greetings, guys, girls, and non-binary pals, and welcome to Season 2 of the SavvyCat Podcast. Yay! At long last, we know you've been patiently awaiting, all of you, twiddling your thumbs, waiting for us to finally make a return.
And as you can hear and see, this is a lot more professional than the OG ones, Season 1.
We are in a studio.
Ooh, look at us.
I wish we had a button that made the ooh. We have a soundboard. It came with the studio. So be ready for that because we're going to abuse those buttons.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, so we organized a studio and it's really cute because it's in a queer cafe and bookshop. So they sell a bunch of queer books and they sell coffee and they just have this
library, actually.
Is it a library?
Yeah, it's a library.
That's cute.
Yeah.
And they have a couple of podcast booths which are so cute. And yeah, so we found this online and we decided to book it because, support local small queer businesses and we needed a podcast studio. So freaking kill two birds with one stone, except don't kill birds, guys.
Leave the birds alone.
So yeah, right now I'm looking out of a window at the shop and I am just greeted by this massive sign that says Black Trans Lives Matter, which I love. It's good.
I like there's a sign out there that's what is it?
Legalize
clit licking.
Legalize clit licking. Fantastic. I didn't know it wasn't legal, but
go off. Go off.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Anyway, thank you for being so patient with us. It's been a long time since we've done a proper podcast.
It's been a really long time.
It kind of spun out of control. But now we're going to actually keep it on task. Thank you. And we're not going to go so off topic.
I love commie dykes. Fucking fantastic. Sorry. This is it's written on a plate and the plate's spinning, but it's been not facing me the whole time. And I was looking out the window and it spun so I could see it. What does that say?
Dip me in maple syrup and throw me to the lesbians.
These are so good. Gay... I can't read my...
Gay Liberation Trust.
Good. Sorry, I really fucking love these signs. Oh my god.
You can't see them. I'm so sorry.
No.
Anyway, speaking of not going off topic.
Guys, I even took my meds today. I'm off to a really good start.
Yeah, no, it was great. Yeah, Season 2 is going to be a lot more professional, and it's going to go up from professional looking.
Right, yeah, professional looking and sounding. Look, we got proper. Maybe the people on Spotify can actually have a good time now.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. I've been paying a monthly fee for uploading our podcast every month. We haven't even recorded one for so long. Oh my god.
But now that money goes to a good use.
Mm-hmm. Now we're actually going to be... What is that sound?
Is that a train?
I don't know. It sounded like someone walking on top of us with a rolly trolley thing, but I don't think there's an upstairs here. Well, no, everywhere has an upstairs head, so that's probably what happened. Anyway, new season.
Season 2. We're here to talk about ourselves and our lives and
stuff that interests us.
Yeah.
And
we want to keep this one a little bit more positive because I think the thing that we ran into last time is that we kept wanting to talk about important issues and important topics, but it got you can't focus on the negative all the time because it just impacts your mental health.
Yeah.
And then you see it as a job, and it is a job, but it's I don't know.
Well, I guess it's because I do a lot of that on my main channel, so it's having my videos that go up 2-3 times a week being more negative based, and then you obviously having to caption them and then doing this as well. It was quite a lot. There's a lot of pressure, and it got really difficult to do. And then we started doing more fun self-indulgent stuff, as we liked to call it, but we felt kind of bad doing it almost. It's not what people wanted, and we kind of took the time to realize that that's okay. We started off doing this for us and we want to keep doing it for us, and if you happen to enjoy it and enjoyed hearing us talk and it keeps you company, then that's all that really matters, is that we're having a good time and even if just one of you is having a good time, then we're happy.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
we've got a bunch of fun stuff planned this time too.
Yes, we've actually scheduled out things. We're going to be here for the rest of the year.
Yes,
pretty sure.
but not every week this time. We are going to be here once every 2 weeks.
Yes, it's going to be fortnightly.
Yes, because again, we don't want to burn ourselves out because we ran into that issue before.
Yes.
And we do not want to do that.
No.
So, yeah, self-care, guys, is very important.
Yes, take care of yourself. Take a break.
Anyway, today's episode, since it is being reintroduced as season 2, we thought we should do a little bit of a self-introduction again, except not really, because you guys already know who we are. So what we're doing is doing something we haven't ever talked about online, which is talking about our travel stories, because we've never mentioned that.
I just realized that we didn't do the Savvy and
Oh
the Cat
no!
thing.
Wait, hold on. I'm Savvy.
And I'm Cat.
Together we had SavvyCat Productions, which is what we came up with when we were 12 years old.
There we go. That was our intro.
I remember the intro.
Now.
I remembered it. Don't worry. We got this.
Yes. Travel stories.
Because-
Where have we been?
Yeah, so I've talked about this on my channels already. And obviously we're on Twitter constantly because we have a problem. But yeah, we went back to Aotearoa for 2 months.
2 months.
2 months. And then we went to Australia for a few weeks, and then we went to the US, and then we had a quick stop in Gibraltar on the way back to the UK. But we were gone for 4 months, which is a long time. A lot happened, as it does in 4 months.
Yeah.
So we wanted to share a little bit about that because, again, we've talked about it online, we've shared stories and stuff, but we've not done it together.
No.
And I feel like it's a bit of fun to talk about. We do have a vlog, but it's available only for patrons.
Yeah, sorry guys.
So if you want to join and become a patron,
It's a nightmare.
it's patreon.com/SavvyCat.
It's
We have
probably-
an hour-long vlog of New Zealand.
Yeah. It's probably the most rawest footage of us together, and it doesn't make any sense. But I
No.
spent a really long time on it.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our little plug in the middle of our podcast
exactly.
here.
Sponsored by us.
This podcast is brought to you by SavvyCat Productions. Anyway, where should we start? The beginning? Right. So our flight. We didn't even get to the part yet. Yeah, just flying in general. We've been on too many planes.
Yeah.
But our flight was initially scheduled for the 18th of March. Which was already so annoying because that was the day of a Stray Kids comeback and we were pissed.
Oh, yeah, and it definitely moved to a better day.
So our flight was for the 18th of March. And the day before our flight, on the 17th, we took COVID tests and Kat came to me crying I tested positive and she was sobbing. And so I had to be it's fine. It's okay. Luckily, because of COVID, airlines have all changed their rules. So you can just reschedule your flight up to the day. Even on the day, you can change your flight because, you can't fly if you have COVID.
So you can now. So.
Can you? Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I think you can still change your flights.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they've kept that rule.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah. And
don't fly when you have COVID. Don't go outside when you have COVID.
Or any viral infection at all.
Please stay safe.
But yeah, so then I didn't test positive. I was still negative, and I was kind of frustrated because I knew I was going to get it. So I wanted to get it ASAP because we rebooked our flights for 10 days later because obviously we're on limited time. We wanted to just go and get it over with. We had booked things, right? Kinda. And people were expecting us and we just had places to be. We just wanted to fucking get over it and go.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was trying to get COVID because I didn't want to test positive and then have it past our rebooked flights, which were booked for Kat's 22nd birthday. We had to change them because if we booked that day was the
cheapest.
The cheapest. It was the only day where they were the same price. Otherwise, we had to pay an extra £1,000. And also, the flight for her birthday, the flight we had to change it to was 44 hours, whereas previously it was 27. But we couldn't get that flight because it was booked out. So we had to get that one, which took 44 hours because it's a 14-hour layover. We'll talk about that momentarily.
Yeah, that's a long story.
Yeah, but then I got COVID eventually. And then after 5 days, we were testing like every day. Kat tested negative after I think a week.
Yeah, it took a really long time.
I kept testing positive. Yeah. I was positive for about 5 days longer than you were. I was positive literally up until the day of the flight. Yeah. Kat was testing negative 4 days before we left. Yeah. I got my first negative the day before the flight, but it was like there was like a faint positive line. So I was really, really worried. And we did our telephone, Skype, whatever test. And I was sitting there shaking because we hadn't even fully packed because we were so worried that it was going to not happen. We didn't want to jinx it. Yeah. And then the test came back negative and we were like, fuck, we have to go to the airport in 4 hours and we haven't packed.
It's a really stressful day.
Oh, so
yeah. We went to the airport and it
was a nighttime flight. We didn't sleep at all the day before because we were freaking out about COVID. Yeah. And so then we were up. The flight was at 9 p.m. Yeah. So we had already been awake for about 16 hours, and then we had a 12-hour flight to Qatar, 14-hour layover, 13-hour flight to Adelaide, 1 hour stop, and then 4 hours to Auckland. It might have actually been some of those flights. I think were actually longer. And then we had to go through customs, and then it was 2 a.m. when we landed. So we left at night and arrived.
The best time, if you ever do a flight like that, I recommend. They're fucking expensive. Yeah. But I recommend. Sometimes airports have little, not hotels, but rooms with a bed in it. It's literally just a room with a bed. I recommend if you're spending 8 hours in an airport when you
14 hours.
14 hours. Yeah, we booked it for 8 hours.
Yeah, we booked it for 8. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we slept, which was
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. At Doha Airport, our layover was pretty much we got avocado toast, and then we slept, and then we had avocado toast, and then we got a massage chair, and then we got avocado toast, and then we went on the plane.
Yeah. We also watched an episode of Glee.
Oh, that's right.
We had to sleep, but we didn't sleep for that long because, it's stressful situations and stuff. And so we slept for probably 4 or 5 hours, and we had the room for another 4.
I was a savior, though, because I don't sleep on planes. So
I can't sleep on planes at all. So, yeah, we didn't get any sleep for the 12 hours, which was overnight, obviously. Yeah. So we slept for a few hours, and then we watched Glee because we had the room, and we're like, we paid for this per hour, so we're going to sit in here until the time's up. Yeah. Yeah, and the avocado toast was literally the best toast I've ever. It's the best avocado toast
Sometimes
I've ever had.
Think about it and I'm like, was it so good because I hadn't eitten, or was it good because
it was genuinely fantastic. Good. Because it had cherry tomatoes and it was really well seasoned. It had vegan feta. It was so good.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going that route, but I would for the avocado toast.
Yeah. Well, also the airline Qatar Air is
so good.
It's one of the best airlines that I've flown. Yeah. I'd almost say better than Air New Zealand, honestly.
I quite like Air New Zealand.
I guess it depends on where you're flying to and what plane you're on for Air New Zealand. Yeah. Because I've had really good Air New Zealand flights and then others that are you know.
That's fine.
But yeah, no.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and then we arrived in Auckland at 2 a.m. And how long was I there in Auckland?
3 days, I think.
Yeah, I think 3 days.
Your dad came to see you at the airport, which was really nice.
It was really sweet. Yeah. It was really, really sweet. Thank you, Dad. That was lovely. And then, I flew down to, because I'm from Wellington.
Her dad came to see her at the airport, and the reason that's sweet is he doesn't live in Auckland. No. He had to fly to get there.
Yes, sorry, that's probably
kind of an important thing to note, is that she wasn't expecting anyone there because none of her family live in Auckland.
No.
So that was probably important to note.
I'm from Wellington.
Well,
I am from Wellington.
Technically,
I was born in Auckland, but I've spent most of my childhood in Wellington.
At this point, would you have spent more time out of Wellington than you have in Wellington? Because if you spent your first 2 years in Auckland, and then intermediate, and then you've spent 8 years out of, you have 12 years out of Wellington.
That, I don't like that thought. How old am I?
You spent most of your life not in Wellington. So.
Anyway, I'm from Wellington. So it takes an hour flight from Wellington to Auckland. And then, I spent 2 or 3 days with Sav's family in Auckland. And then I flew down to Wellington for like a month. I think I was
Yeah,
there.
you were there for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I stayed in Auckland, and I basically didn't leave my bedroom. I had a bunch of friends that wanted to see me, but I got very overwhelmed, so I saw literally no one. I saw my best friend, Emma, and then I saw one of my other friends a couple times who was one of my best friends for a while, and then one other friend for like very briefly. And I had a bunch of other people that I was meant to see, and I got overwhelmed, and I did not reply to their messages because that's just typical me.
Fair.
So I just hung out with Biscuit mainly.
Biscuit's her dog.
I just hung out with my dog. Basically, I took him out for walks, and I played games with him, and I just cuddled with him. Yeah. Most of the time is what I did when I was at home.
I pretty much also did exactly the same thing. I stayed at home, and then I went into town and I bought Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and then I stayed at home playing Legend of Zelda.
No, I respect that. Yeah. And then Kat came up to Auckland again to meet up with me, but she ran into a little bit of a bump in the road.
Yeah, timing got mixed up. Things happened, schedules mixed, and I did not have my suitcase for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I didn't have any clothes. So I had to deal with that for...
We had to go buy a few clothes.
3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, so then we were going to do a road trip of the North Island.
Yes.
But we had to move that forwards to be earlier so we could get Kat's bag earlier.
Which was in Wellington. Which is all the way at the bottom of the North Island, and Auckland is out.
Auckland is like up the top, so it's a long drive.
Yes. I think it's 9-10 hours.
9-10 hours, yeah. But I'm not driving that far. No, thank you. So what we did was we went like for like 6 days down. I think so, yeah. So we did a little travel thing where I was driving because I fucking love driving, and I don't know how to drive. We brought all of our CDs with us. Yeah. So we had 100 and something CDs.
Yeah, I think it ended up 132.
Yeah, we had 132 CDs with us. So we didn't listen to most of them, obviously, but we allocated it to a specific artist every day, and we listened to a different artist on each trip. And so we went down to Ohope Beach,
which was beautiful.
Yeah, Whakatane, which is the Kiwi capital of the world. I love that they have to specify the world as though there are Kiwis literally anywhere else, but it's fine. Which is a really beautiful place. It's voted as one of the best beaches in New Zealand, but unfortunately it was raining the whole time we were there. And we went to do a walk.
Oh yeah.
There's a walk near where we were staying, because most of the stuff you do when you're there is walks, right? And there was a Kiwi reserve walk, and they advertise it as come do a self-guided walk. If you do it at nighttime, you can see the Kiwis, you can hear the Kiwis. So we recommend coming and doing a self-guided tour at nighttime. And they were there's a few glowing things on the way so you won't get lost, and you know where there are wetters, which are fucking giant tree insects.
Terrifying.
And then they'll tell you where there are traps because possums and stuff. Yeah. So we showed up to be okay, let's go for a walk at nighttime to see the Kiwis. It was pitch black. Literally, I've never been so scared in my life. We walked for about 5 minutes in, and then
5 minutes, but we basically got 10 steps and it turned around.
Yeah, we were walking very slowly, huddled together, and because we only had our phone torches. It said it was a self-guided night tour, so we figured it would be fine and there'd be lights on a path or something. And so we got 10 steps in, and we were stopped, and we were we literally pitch black. There's no lights. This is not a city. There's literally no light at all, the darkest dark. And you can't see more than 2 meters ahead of you because phone torches are shit. They're not made for that. And then obviously you can't see it all behind you from any side. And so we're standing there what do we do? What do we do?
So we booked it.
So we just turned around and we left. And it was so scary even turning around and leaving because you can't see behind you.
No.
And yeah.
It's this thing of if anyone else, it wasn't even New Zealand doesn't have any predators.
No.
We weren't worried about animals or anything like that. I was worried about
someone hiding in the fucking bushes. Yeah. The thing I was most scared of was a man, right?
Yeah.
I'm not scared of any fucking animals. I'm scared that there's someone in there that's going to kill me.
Yeah, exactly. And the paths aren't exactly
Bro, we went back to do the walk the next day in the daylight. We went at dusk. So we would be there at we went there in the afternoon and we're planning to
leave
when it was like starting to get dark because that's when the Kiwis like come out. So we were like, maybe we'll encounter some. But we obviously wanted to get the fuck out before it was dark. Yeah. And the path, why would you encourage someone doing that in the dark? They literally want you to die. There's no other reason they would tell you to do that at nighttime.
I would have fallen and died.
We would have fucking died. If we did that at nighttime, we would have died. There was parts of okay, a lot of walks are so dangerous. New Zealand is so fucking dangerous. So they do a lot of their walks. It's like literally on a cliff's edge, pretty much, massive hills. That's our whole country. Yeah. And so it's just a dirt path on a cliff with no fences,
no stones. It's not like laid, like usually you go on paths and they have like wire across the path or like stones so it doesn't get too muddy. It wasn't that. It's literally just muddy ground that is, there's no fencing.
It was raining earlier as well, so it was slippery.
Yeah, and it's like a one-person path that you just walk across.
On the edge of a cliff.
On the edge of a cliff. And there's a cliff like to your other side, so you can't like move. No,
if you one misstep and you fall.
Yeah. And like, well,
that was your phone. Mine's on. No, it was my phone.
Haha. Fuck you. Yeah. And we got like halfway up the first side, like a quarter away, I guess, for the whole trip. Yeah. And there was this huge tree that like just had obviously fallen down because of the rain and had covered the entire path. So you had to like go underneath the tree and then up around the other side. And I twisted my ankle and it was fucked for like 2 months.
Yeah. And also like part of the tree getting over it is you effectively to try to get over it. There's like a branch that people were holding onto to pull themselves up. And because of it had been there for a long time, clearly, because the branch that people were pulling on was like falling off. Yeah. And so when Kat went up to it, I was genuinely so worried that she was going to like fall because she pulled on the branch and I was like, that branch is going to snap in like 2 people's time. No. And if we'd have gotten to that at nighttime,
I wouldn't have seen it.
No, exactly. We would have had to turn around, which would have also been like shit, right? Because that was downhill. Oh my God. I don't know why they would tell you to do that at nighttime. There was also another part of the path that was like under construction. Yeah. Which was just really slippery. And there was a sign being like, be careful. It's like,
if I saw that, I wouldn't have seen that at nighttime. No. And you're encouraging people to do this at nighttime.
And with children too, by the way. It says to take your kids on this night walk. By yourself. It doesn't even tell you to bring a torch. It like literally doesn't tell you what gear you need. It's like it's a really nice, fun, self-guided. Are you trying to kill me?
Literally.
Anyway, don't listen to whatever fucking Kiwis are trying to tell you to do. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Because they have a death wish. Yeah. We're the country that jumps off cliffs for fun. So like.
Yeah, don't do it.
Just don't. Anytime they're like nighttime, don't. Because you'll listen. We were like walking on the second walk when we did it in the daytime and it was starting to get dark. Like we passed a man and was like, if that happened to me when we were dark, even if they were nice, I would have cried. I would have just stopped and I would have cried. Yeah. Yeah. Like they could be nice. They could, if someone was just there and they were like, hi, no. I would be like, okay, I'm about to die. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. No, this is how I die.
But to have a positive light at the end of the walk, at the second time we did it, when it just started turning dark into dusk, we did hear Kiwis, like a lot of Kiwis. Luckily, there was no female Kiwis because they sound like demons from hell.
Female Kiwis are so scary. Yeah, there was a bunch of male Kiwis doing a mating call and then no female Kiwis replied, which I thought was very funny.
It's very funny. But yeah, if you ever want to get a jump scare or scare someone else, look up a female Kiwi call because they are horrifying.
So
male
scary.
Kiwis are very sweet and lovely. They just sound like birds. But female Kiwis are terrifying. Yeah. If I heard that at night, if we went properly at the nighttime talk.
I mean, we listen to foxes every night, so
something about the female. It's like gut. It's like a guttural call.
Yeah, it's not nice.
It's scary.
It's not nice. Yeah. No.
Anyway, after a hope, where did we go?
After a hope, we drove to Morere.
Yeah.
Right? And Morere is, I don't really know how to explain it. It's a place that has two things. It's on a road, and there's a lodge and a hot spring. That is it. That's it. You Google population of Morere, and it literally comes up with sparse.
Yeah.
It's literally just two places on a road. It was an awful drive. It was so scary. It was meant to be a 4-hour drive. I think it took 5.5 because we stopped in Gisborne because there's really nothing on the way and we needed to get something to eat. It took us about 4 hours. It should not have taken that long. No. But it was raining and the drive is like, again, cliffside because everything is cliffside. So on this side is like a cliff with like just water, like a river. And falling rocks. Then on the other side is falling rocks with like signs being like, caution, falling rocks. And it's raining and it's windy. And so I'm going really slowly.
It's like a 2-lane road, I guess. But 1 lane out the side.
Yeah. And going really slowly. And then we also get to a point where, because I'm going so slowly, my car is like, you're about to run out of petrol. And we're in the middle of nowhere. There's no service. There's nothing. And I didn't realize that the aircon was on. And so we were going slowly. The aircon was on and my petrol light goes on. And I'm like, I don't fucking know where we are. I don't know how far away it is to a petrol station because you can go hours without seeing a petrol station. And we were freaking out. Like, what are we going to fucking do?
Thank fucking God. There was this really, really tiny town. Like, not even a town. It was basically like 2 houses and a shop. Yeah. But they had a petrol pump. That is obviously delivered like on a truck. Like it's obviously for the specific purpose because there's no other petrol around. Yeah. So luckily it took us about 45 minutes to get there and we had like just reached it. And so then I put in like more petrol than I needed for the rest of the trip because I'm like, not a fucking chance am I ever running out of petrol ever again because that was so scary. Yeah. But we were safe. It was fine. Yeah. But if you do go that route, I recommend filling up your tank.
It's very pretty drive. It's beautiful. But terrifying.
Yeah. And then we got to Morere. And there was
no internet,
firstly. No internet, nothing. And we went there because there's a specific hot spring. It's like a natural hot pool. So it's like underground and you go in and you walk across this trail and then you go in and you just swim for it. And we only had booked 1 night there because we were like 2 nights there. Oh yeah, we wanted to spend the day there. So it was 2 nights. And we got there and they decided to do cleaning on the pools. So it was
one day
closed.
Just that one day.
Just the one day we were there.
So funny. It's the whole reason we went there.
Yeah. So we ended up going to driving like 30 minutes out to the beach.
But honestly, that was better because it was a hot day.
Yeah.
We went from being in the rain in Ohope to like it was a really hot day. So we took our skazoos and we went to the beach, which was very nice. It was a nice beach. Lovely. It was very pretty. It was a classic like New Zealand beach.
But it was good. We had a good time. We played because we didn't have internet.
We didn't have internet or any games or anything.
So we decided to pull out our photo cards because, of course, we had all our photo cards with us.
We traveled the world. We traveled with 3 full binders of photo cards.
I was only in these in London. Are you kidding?
3 full. It was like what? We have like 400 photo cards or some shit. Yeah, we traveled with those. They weighed our bags down so much.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But we traveled with them. And then we ended up playing, like, Go Fetch. So we were like, do you have a chung bin? And then if you got 2 chung bins.
And then we played older, younger. So we had, like, a pile of photo cards. And you had to turn one over and you had to guess if the next member was going to be older or younger. And if you got it wrong, you had to take a shot of soju.
Yeah, no, that was fun.
The best one was the vibes. Where, like, Kat would just, like, hold up a photo card and be like, who is it? And I just had to guess which member it was.
It's a good time.
When I got 4 in a row, I was so proud of myself. If you want to see us actually playing that, again, it's on Patreon.
Yeah, exactly. Plug.
Trying to steal your money.
Anyway, after Morere, we went down to Napier, which we didn't spend that much time.
No, we only had a day.
But I don't know.
It's a weird place.
It's strange. It's very Art Deco. So if you like Art Deco, like architecture. I don't know how to say that word. I recommend it, but just because, I don't know, I'm not a big...
No, it felt like a movie set.
It did, yeah.
But we got massages there.
Then we went down to Wellington and we hung out with my family and we went on the crocodile bikes.
Yeah,
which
is a good time.
An icon. If you're ever in Wellington, I recommend the crocodile bikes. It's like just basically like twin bikes with a crocodile
hood kind of thing. Yeah,
that's it. But you cycle around the harbour,
and they do vegan monster shakes at the crocodile bike.
They do.
place.
They do. It's
So
very
it's
nice.
like a milkshake with like a whole ice cream cone and candy floss and chocolate and shit on top. It's very good. Can't eat a whole thing, but it's very good.
Very good. And we just basically ate food the entire day.
We went to Sweet Release, and they do really good vegan food. It's a vegan place, and Kat got her salmon and cream cheese bagel. They had really good mac and cheese.
I'll
and,
never find
bacon
her
and egg.
again.
It's really good. Yeah, Kat's tried to have salmon bagels since then, and there's not been any that have been any good, which is devastating. But so if anyone knows where to get like vegan salmon cream cheese bagels in London that are like good, please let us know.
Very high standards.
Very high standards, yeah.
So
So hit us up if you know.
Yeah.
Also, if you know anyone that does vegan chicken waffles, please let me know. Because I want vegan chicken waffles.
Why would you say something like that?
Because I want them. Why doesn't Virga do vegan chicken waffles? They do really good ones. Virga, hey Virga,
Please.
if you're listening, please make them.
Also sponsor us.
Yeah. Yes.
After Wellington,
Mm-hmm.
we went back up to Auckland, but a different way this time.
We stopped. The first stop we did was we spent one night near Auckland, but I don't remember what it was called.
But it was pretty much Auckland.
Yeah, it was pretty much Auckland, and that was pretty. But like all we did, we watched music videos and drank Red Bull that night.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was a good night.
That's when we picked out concert outfits. We sat and we watched. We totally missed out a whole very fundamental part of this trip of the stress of buying concert tickets.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
Basically, I was planning to get to this when we got to the American part.
Okay. We can talk about this later. We'll come back to this later. Listen. Just know that we've got a really good story. We're going to have to like do a part 2 of this podcast. Yeah. Part 1 is New Zealand and part 2 is everything else. 3 parts, one for each country.
We need to speed through this.
Yeah.
Basically, Ohakune, and then we went up to Taupo to see my grandparents.
Yes.
And then...
There were these feral fucking dogs at the place we were staying. Oh my god.
They kept like barking directly in our window and trying to get in.
Yeah.
Like clawing
and they were like fighting each other and oh my god.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
Yeah.
Taupo's beautiful. I highly recommend Taupo.
It is beautiful.
It's
don't get a chai latte though.
Don't. It's just hot water and cinnamon.
I think we're assuming every single place in Taupo makes them the same.
Absolutely. Don't even attempt it.
Also, if you're in New Zealand and you're traveling, you have to get petrol station pies. It's like very important. I miss my sausage rolls and pies.
I got a vegan butter chicken. Oh, it's so good.
So good.
Taupo is basically a town.
On a lake.
On a lake, but the lake is a volcanic crater.
It's massive.
So it's like the entire bottom floor is basically just pumice. Mm-hmm. So if you ever want pumice. And
there's like parts of it that are like naturally really hot water.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's
a volcano.
It's a volcano.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically the volcano crater of pretty much the entire North Island. That's pretty much what the volcano is. It's beautiful. It's stunning. Highly recommend it. And then we went up to Rotorua.
Yeah, we went up to Rotorua, and the drive there was so scary. Listen, we had a lot of scary drives. So this was one of the shorter drives. The drives up were much shorter than the drives down. But it was really, really, really foggy. Like we couldn't see more than like 3 meters in front of us at a time, and it was like so scary. So like you're driving and you can't see anything, and then these trees just suddenly like appear as you get closer to them. So there literally could have been anything in there. We kept expecting to drive and see like fucking Slender Man or some shit just standing there.
The worst part for me was that there were no cars on our side.
There was no cars
road.
anywhere. There were no cars coming towards us.
There was a bunch of cars coming towards us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But none on our side of the road. So it looked like we were just heading towards our doom, and everybody was running away.
Yeah.
It was terrifying.
Yeah. And then cars started forming behind us, and we were going at like 40 and like 100 area because I was like, I'm not driving faster than this because there could be anything in front of me. And so I was holding up and this massive line formed behind me, and I'm like, sorry guys, but I'm not fucking driving any faster than this. So it took us ages again. And then the fog cleared up and it was great, and I let people pass us, and then I was driving at a normal speed again, and it was good. But then we're in Rotorua, which is really nice. I really like Rotorua.
But make sure you don't go when it rains.
Oh my!
Because it floods everywhere you want to go. Because Rotorua is a place, it has natural hot springs, again. And that's basically what it's known for.
It smells really bad.
It's a huge, like, sulfur place.
Yeah.
It's got, if you ever want to get, like, face masks and mud, it has a lot of really good properties. It's beautiful, like, very natural, very beautiful place. But yeah, it floods, so all the hot springs and hot pools and bubbling mud floods as well. So we didn't really get the full experience. But it was still very nice.
We went to a hot water stream, which
also flooded.
I went with my family. I went to this really nice hot water spring called Kerosene Creek, and it's basically like
kerosene. That's a clue.
It's a creek that's like naturally really warm water. It's like 32 degrees warm water, and it's really nice because it's like in the middle of nature. You're surrounded by trees, and it's so pretty, and the water is so nice. And I was like, I really wanted to take Kat. It was one of the large reasons I was like, we should go to Rotorua for a few days. And so I went with Kat the day after this massive amount of rain. Like, I shit you not, the water was knee deep on the road.
There were flood warnings. Like, it had actually flooded.
Yeah. And so we went the next day, and the water was not warm at all. It was moving ridiculously fast, and it looked disgusting.
It had, like, foamed because it was all, like, sewage and all the, like, street water from the highway had run in. So it was not safe to swim in.
And it was like a half-hour drive out, so we drove out for half an hour and then half an hour back. We did kind of expect it.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Half the fun was just driving around and seeing places.
Yeah.
And then we went, instead of doing all the things that we wanted to, we went to a, what are they called? The rooms.
An escape room.
Escape rooms.
We did that the day it rained.
Yeah. I was about to call it a get-out room.
A get-out room. It's the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. That was fun, except we definitely ran out of time because we had... Basically, we had worked out the entire puzzle, except there was a bag I shit you not, in the middle of the room. There was like a duffel bag that you had to search through to find the final piece of the clue. We did not search it because both of us had went... I don't know. In my head, I assumed it was your bag, even though I had never seen that bag before in my life. But I was like, that's yours.
Yeah. It wasn't.
So I just didn't open it.
Our time ran out and the bomb went off, but they didn't come and kick us out. So we found it. We finished it very quickly, and we went out, and the guy was like, "Did you finish it in time?" We were like, "Yes."
Don't check the time, please.
Don't check, though. Don't check.
No.
Yeah, we had to defuse a bomb.
Yeah.
We did not succeed. And, like, that clue would have been really helpful to us if we found it earlier, too.
Oh, yeah, because
we were able to finish.
Like 20 minutes.
We spent so long trying to figure shit out, and luckily you managed to, but if we'd have found that, we genuinely could have shaved, like, 20 minutes off that time.
No,
we're just fucking stupid.
We're just dumbasses.
So.
We're very clever.
But so.
Just, if something is right in front of my face, I'm not singing it. I'm sorry.
Absolutely not. They did it on purpose.
Yeah, so we did that, and we also did a big spa day for like 4 hours, and we got
so nice.
facial,
we got to sit in a hot spring for like an hour,
and then it was like a big body scrub, and we got mud wrapped.
Yeah,
where they basically just covered us in mud and then wrapped us in towels, and then we
were
were
like head massage while you're in
swaddled.
Yeah, it was like massage, body scrub, massage, mud wrap, body scrub. Yeah. And it was so good. Oh, it was
very
so
nice. That was like the very first time I've ever spent money on myself. Does that make sense? Like my body and taking care of myself. So it was very nice.
Very relaxing. And like really like good price for what it included.
Absolutely.
And that was at fucking
Polynesian Spa.
Polynesian Spa was really nice.
Yeah.
And then we went back up to Auckland.
No, then we went up to Hobbiton.
Hobbiton. Yes, we did. On the way back to Auckland, we went to Hobbiton.
Yeah. Which I enjoyed thoroughly because I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. And Hobbit fan, I guess.
I thought it was very cool. I've not seen Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, but it was cool, so.
Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I want to live in a Hobbit hole.
Basically, it's just the set. And you just walk around the set, but it's beautiful.
It is very, very pretty. So. And you get to go into the like pub that they have in the movie, and you drink. They have like cider and ginger beer, and they have a cat who sat by the fireplace.
Yes, yeah, no, love that.
And it rained while we were there. And the bus driver...
Oh, it was a stay.
We got off the fucking bus that took us to the set, and we were wearing Kat was wearing her Stray Kids, like, rain jacket thing. And he was like, friggin' I love that band. Who's your bias? And we were like, bro, what are the chances that the Hobbiton bus driver is a stay?
It was great. It was fantastic.
He was a Chan? Yeah, it's a Chan stan.
Yeah. Three-watcher stan.
Respect. Yeah, I love that.
Absolutely. And then, we went up to Auckland and we spent...
some more time with my family and with Biscuit.
Yeah.
I spent more time avoiding my friends. Yeah. And then went to Australia.
Yeah. And then we went to
Melbourne.
Love Melbourne.
Really love Melbourne.
Really fucking... We spent... we got there for the first 2 days and we were like, it's just a city. And then we found this street that was pretty much just entirely like vegan restaurants.
And an art market with cool earrings.
And my ring got stolen at a concert.
Did it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so sorry.
I'll say that. Yeah, I bought this really nice like fidget ring for like anxiety in Melbourne. And then I went to a concert and I did not have it by the end of the concert. And
did it fall off?
I don't. Yeah, it might have fallen off. I don't know what happened, but I didn't have it at the end of the concert.
Sad.
I've been trying to work out what happened to it for weeks, so I don't know. Yeah, and love Melbourne. We were walking from the street full of restaurants, and then we were like,
yeah,
what if we lived here?
Yeah, literally, we were like really like, it's pretty alright. I get why people like it. And then we went to this art market, and we know it was the Nutty. We turned the corner from the art market, and Kat was like, Sav, and I was like, what? She's like, and it was a Nutty, which is our favorite bubble tea place. It's a fully vegan bubble tea place. They make their own like milk, and they have this like amazing nut cream, which is just a bunch of nuts and like sugar or something like blended together. I don't know how to explain it, but it's literally the best thing in the entire world. And they put it on top of their tea, and it's like the best thing. And we missed it so much. And it's like it's one of our favorite things ever. And like it doesn't exist in very many places. And so when we found it, we were like, it has Nutty. It has everything. I could live here. Yeah. We were walking down the road to head back to the hotel, and we passed like a million vegan places. Yeah.
There's a Japanese restaurant that literally, because I used to really like karaage chicken, but obviously I can't eat that anymore. I'm vegan. But every time I've gone to like a vegan restaurant, they've never done the batter right. There's a very specific way you cook karaage, and no one's ever done it. It's like breadcrumbed or something like that. But this place did it exactly. I was fully convinced that they were feeding me chicken for a bit.
It was so good. And the sushi was incredible too.
So good.
And the fry, it was really good food. If you're in Melbourne, it's called Future Sushi, and it's fucking fantastic.
Fully recommend it.
And then there's the pasta place too. Yeah. We went to this pasta place that was like really fancy. And it was fully vegan, but like it doesn't say that enough. Wow. So I was always like, and it was.
Yeah, it's called a plant-based Italian restaurant.
And they have this calamari that's like literally the best thing ever. They're vegan calamari. And it's got like lemon pepper. Oh, it's so good. We went back like 3 times just to get more of the calamari. And they had really fucking good like hazelnut gelato.
Oh my god.
I can't remember what that's called. But it was it's so good. Melbourne is known as like the vegan capital of the world.
Melbourne has some of the best food I've ever eaten in my life. Fantastic.
And there's this vegan fast food place in New Zealand and Australia called Lord of the Fries, and there's like 19 of them in Australia total, and 13 of them are in Melbourne. We were like, where we were staying was like 300 meters away from 4 of them.
It's great.
Just so funny, so
great.
good. That's where we got the chicken waffles from.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from Melbourne, we went to Phillip Island, which we literally went to Melbourne to go to Phillip Island because Chan always talks about the Penguin Island, and we wanted to go because he talks about it all the time. And I was like, I want to be the fucking penguins. But one of the reasons we went was to see the night sky.
And it was a fucking full moon.
A massive full moon.
Oh, we're dumbasses. I don't know why we didn't check that.
No, but I mean, it wouldn't have made much of a difference anyway.
We could have cut it off a week.
That's true.
Gone a week earlier.
Yeah, we could have started in Sydney and worked our way down. But yeah, no, we went because Chan like messaged on Bubble one time and being like,
go see the penguins.
And also when I was there, you know, when it was like nighttime, you look up and you can see the Milky Way, and we were like, I need to see that. I need to go.
They talk about our own kids' room as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the penguins were so cute too.
So cute. We were really lucky because basically it's just you take a seat on the beach. You don't interact with the penguins at all. And basically what happens is at nighttime they all come out from the ocean to go to their little homes on the beach, and you just sit there and you just watch them waddle from the ocean to the grass. 10 out of 10 experience. Absolutely god tier. They're the smallest penguins, in the world. So they're little tiny things and they just waddle and you just sit there and you watch them. But we were really lucky because it's been running it's like a conservation agency.
Yeah.
And they've been running the project for
a really long time.
30 to 40 years. Yeah. And it was the first time they had ever allowed people to take photos for 30 years, I think. Because usually people take photos with flash, and obviously that's not good.
We were like literally the first day.
Yeah.
They were letting take photos.
So we all had to promise in Pinguis that we turned off our flash, which we did. And we got photos of little penguins.
Some videos of them waddling.
Nom, nom, nom.
The cutest thing. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And we also saw some koalas at a koala conservation place.
Oh my god, the koalas.
And we are dumbasses. You'll find this is a regular theme throughout this whole trip.
Oh my god, yeah, fuck me. All right.
We didn't have a car, obviously, in Australia, nor in the US, which will come up in soon. But
because renting cars is expensive.
Yeah. So basically what happened was we walked from our Airbnb in Phillips Island to the koala place, which was on a highway for
6 kilometers.
6 kilometers, yeah. So it was a 12-kilometer walk, both
combined. We left in the morning.
Didn't arrive back till 6 p.m.
And there's nowhere to eat.
We
thought that there'd be a cafe or something, but there wasn't. There was literally
nothing. Nowhere to sit at the actual koala place. So we were on our feet the entire time. Mm-hmm. My feet were bleeding by the end of it.
Yeah. But the koalas were fucking cool.
And we saw a bunch of fucking dead wallabies on the way.
There were so many dead wallabies. It was traumatizing. I remember just we were walking and talking and I saw something and I jumped out of my fucking skin because I was like, I had a heart attack. There's wallabies are big. They're they're small kangaroos kind of, right?
But they're still fucking massive.
They're massive. They're small kangaroos. And
they're about as big as a child, I'd say.
Bigger than a small child. Yeah, a 5-year-old almost. Yeah. Dead on the side of the road and gave me a heart attack. You don't expect to see a dead wallaby. But the koalas were worth it. The koalas were so cool. It was so cool. This again was a conservation thing run by the same people who run the penguins. So they are they're koalas who lived in these areas and they kind of built around them almost because they're threatened.
Yeah, they're endangered.
So it's to keep them safe.
Yeah. But they don't interact. You don't touch them. You basically just stand on these. They build little elevated boardwalk pathways in between the trees, but obviously you don't touch them, you don't interact with them, you don't make noises, you just sit and you observe them. Yeah. But we witnessed a little couple fight between a koala and a male koala.
An alpha male.
An alpha male who very much got spooked off his branch and had to go to the other side of the little place because his girlfriend didn't. So funny. This
koala, he was just chilling in a tree, and this other much smaller female koala was sleeping up the top, and then she just decided, she woke up, she climbed down the tree, which is so cool to watch. They jump and shit. Yeah. She climbed down the tree, went and sat above him, and then literally just screamed at him
until he got farther away, and then she had a little snack break, as a queen should, and then decided he wasn't further enough away, so she went and she walked towards him again, screamed at him. He had to walk all the way out to the other side, and then she decided, thank you. Went back right back up to where she started, and fell back asleep.
Queen, honestly.
Absolute icon.
It's so funny because there are signs there talking about how the males are very territorial and bossy. And no, he got fucking put in his place. And there was this other koala who was up the really tippy top of a tree, and it was windy. And she was literally sitting on this branch that I was like, that's gonna fucking snap. And the whole tree was doing this, and you watch this koala like bend all the way on this tree. Oh, it was so funny. I was very worried about her. It's so funny. Oh my God.
That was our koala experience. It was great.
Yeah.
And then we went to...
Stay with my auntie for a bit.
Yeah, and then we went to the Gold Coast and went to some theme parks.
Yes, we went to Movie World and Wet n Wild.
Both great places.
Movie World is a really small place trying to be Disneyland.
It tried.
It's Warner Bros.
Yeah.
And there's 6 rides in total.
Yeah. But I saw Catwoman, so...
With her whip.
I am in love with her.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
She was very cool. And we saw Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
And...
went on a few rides. We went on the Green Lantern ride so many times.
It was fun, yeah.
It's a good ride.
Unfortunately, that was overshadowed because we went to Disneyland later, and that
yeah, we're gonna do a whole podcast about the US because we're running out of time.
That's not enough time.
But stay tuned for that. I'm sure you're excited to hear about our US adventure.
But yeah, then we went to Sydney.
Yeah, and Sydney was really nice. We've been to Sydney a few times. So we stayed in this 5-star hotel. Which I didn't realize I booked.
Yeah, you booked a really
I booked a 5-star hotel, which was really nice, obviously. And we basically didn't leave. We stayed in the hotel pretty much.
We watched Spider-Man the entire time.
Yeah.
Age of Ultron, we got really pissed at Age of Ultron.
Yeah, we did. We watched movies and we watched Hotters Come Back.
Oh, yeah.
And
every Twice music video.
Yeah, every Twice music video. We've got massages again.
Yeah.
There was this really nice Chinese restaurant that we went to literally every day.
What was it called?
Mother Chu's. I think it was just called Mother Chu's Vegetarian.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. It's family run.
It's just a mother and a daughter. It's such good food.
Really, really good food.
Really good food.
And we went shopping. Most of the time we spent in Melbourne, we were also shopping because, as you all know, and we'll find out and hear more about in the next episode, we were buying concert outfits. So
yeah, we went to a bunch of Stray Kids concerts.
Yeah, so we had to shop and find outfits. So we did a lot of shopping. Melbourne is incredible for shopping.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And we did some more shopping in Sydney. We bought our makeup in Sydney because I had run out of makeup. Yeah. And so we both bought a bunch of makeup while we were there. And that's really what we did. We just hung out.
Yeah.
And there was a spa at our hotel. Obviously, as a 5-star hotel, if there's no spa, I'm going to be upset. Yeah. But it was cold.
Yeah, it was fucking cold.
It was actually cold. I'm not being a person who's complaining about a 30 degree spa pool being cold. It was actually cold. It was colder than the swimming pool.
Yeah, it was 8 degrees Celsius, I think.
I think it was 8 degrees.
No, it was pretty good when we first went in.
8 degrees is how cold the ocean is.
Yeah, it was pretty cold when we first went in.
It's quite cold.
Yeah. The first time we attempted?
Yeah.
They just cleaned it out.
Yeah, they were refilling it. There's a hose on it.
Yeah.
And then we tried to go again, and it probably would have been closer to 15 degrees, which is not a vibe.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Not cool.
Not cool.
Sydney was fun. And then we went to the US off on our way, which was a whole story. We'll go over the US in the next episode. We'll talk about not just the actual being there, but the whole preparation and everything for it too.
Yeah, exactly. And just our overall thoughts on the United States, because we have many thoughts about that place.
I know I did a video about that on the second channel, but there's so much that I didn't get into. There's so many stories that I didn't tell that I could, and we will. So stay tuned for that. I'm sure you're super excited. Yeah, so we'll do that next time.
We should wrap this up.
Yeah,
probably.
Remember this has been 15 minutes less.
No, I know.
Yeah, so we hope that you enjoyed our travel stories of the first 3 quarters of our trip, really.
Pretty much.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a time.
The thing about it is it was an amazing trip.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget all the parts that we did, but there is a lot of connotations and stress that comes with going home after a long time.
Yeah.
very needed.
Absolutely.
Kind of mental building, but it obviously takes a lot out of you. So it's a very like complicated thing.
Yeah, and figuring out how to like work while you're there as well
that,
was also really difficult. So that was a big struggle that we did.
No, definitely.
But yeah, overall it was really really
I'm
cool.
very, very grateful that we could.
Yeah.
Obviously it's a huge trip and it costs a lot and it's a lot of time and energy. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that like ever supported or even watched like any of Sav's videos or anything. Like just genuinely I'm very, very grateful.
Yeah.
Everything just, it was a big life-changing trip, I would even say.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go home for 6 years prior to that.
Yeah.
And then obviously COVID meant that you couldn't go home.
Yeah, I didn't go home for 2.5 years. Yeah.
Which is obviously very tricky and difficult.
Yes.
So I'm very grateful that we could do that and make it our own trip and travel while doing so. So yeah.
Yeah. So in saying that, a massive thank you to our patrons whose names we will insert because I forgot to write them down and I cannot check on my phone for some reason. You can't see that through the app.
It's
I don't
really
know why.
confusing. Yeah.
So a massive thank you to you guys. We will insert your names here in post.
Akira, Rosendo, the Alienated Librarian, Robin, Eowyn, Alistair, Silly, Robbie, Josh, Sparrow, Bobby, Toulouse, Ari, and Andrea. Thank you so much. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah, as Kat said, we genuinely appreciate your help so much, especially right now we're trying to find somewhere to live, which is difficult, very tricky. But that'll be a whole other podcast.
Whole other thing. I have so much to say about the housing market. I
know we just said no serious topics, but we're going to do a whole podcast just ranting about houses.
I have so many fucking things to say.
Stay tuned for that because, angry. And it made it cap.
Guys, you should. You fucking should.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for coming along. I hope you've enjoyed the new setup.
Yes.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts and what you'd like to see from us here.
Yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks. We're doing these every fortnightly.
Yeah, I don't know what day we're going to upload these. Friday?
Yeah,
maybe?
Fridays.
Fridays? Okay, we'll see you in a couple Fridays.
Yeah.
So, thank you for your support and
stay safe.
Stay safe.
I like which one is it? Is it this one?
It's a daydream. We should do this as our intro. Greetings, guys.
Okay, next time you'll get that. People have been asking for an intro song. You're getting that now.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. Well, thank you for coming along.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Drink water.
Yes.
Eat food.
Take your meds.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.